Have you ever looked up at a high-flying airplane and noticed those long trails of vapor that linger in the sky after the plane has passed? While many people consider these trails harmless byproducts, some people actually believe they are intentionally created for harmful purposes, affecting the environment and the general public. I'm going to present the facts, and it's up to you to let me know what you believe they really are. Who is behind these trails, and do you know something that I don't? Well, let's talk about it. Before the rest of the episode, remember, if you enjoy Freaky What content, click the freaky liker button shaped like a hand. Subscribe to the channel and click the content alarm bell so you know when your favorite freaky content is uploaded. Okay, let's get back to it. Some airplanes leave wide, fluffy trails, while others leave thin, straight, almost perfect looking lines in the sky. The aviation industry refers to these trails as CONTRAILS, primarily made up of water that turns into ice crystals at high altitudes. However, a growing movement argues that these are not innocent contrails, but rather CHEMTRAILs, deliberately released from aircraft engines by powerful global entities with the aim of manipulating the weather and exercising control over the entire world. Some people ask why there are very specific types of trails, and sometimes they linger for what seems like all day long. Wouldn't ice crystals dissipate and blow away in the winds at high altitude? That makes you think. Let's go back to where it all started. The origins of this global concern can be traced back to the United States in 1996, when the U.S. Air Force actually published a report on weather modification. This, of course, raised alarm among environmentalists, sparking fears that mysterious and hazardous substances were being deployed by high-flying airplanes. It also cued a lot of questions from ordinary people that hadn't previously thought about weather modification or even thought that it was possible. Suddenly, many concerned citizens began asking, how are they achieving these changes in the weather? What is so powerful it can cause Mother Nature to switch things up on demand? As people began digging and rumors began to spread, national environmental agencies and aviation authorities felt compelled to respond by issuing fact sheets to counter these stories. However, this official denial only fueled more interest and speculation, and it seemed that every single fact sheet said exactly the same thing and offered empty denial and no real explanation about weather modification. So, who is telling the truth? What are chemtrails? People who believe in chemtrails distinguish them by their long-lasting nature. Unlike regular airplane trails that dissipate quickly, these allegedly more sinister trails, first observed in the mid-1990s, can persist for half a day or longer, and eventually transform into cloud-like formations. Suzanne Mayer, a Canadian who founded the Bye Bye Blue Sky organization to raise awareness about this phenomenon, believes that everyone should pay attention to what is happening above us all the time. she emphasizes that we should move beyond considering this a conspiracy theory. According to her, 2 to 3 decades ago, these persistent trails were not a common sight, and we used to have clear blue skies. Now, while I don't specifically remember how blue the skies were in the 1980s, it seems that there are a lot of other people who agree with Mayer's claims. Chemtrail believers assert that the trails left behind in our skies consist of a dangerous mixture of aluminum, strontium, and barium. Some people have strong arguments that these chemicals are released into the atmosphere for various purposes, including military objectives and global dominance, and even suggest that these substances are used to control population numbers through mass sterilization and a reduction in life expectancy. Other people are concerned that it's just an attempt to actually help control weather problems, but it is still done with dangerous chemicals that can harm people. Additionally, there are claims that chemtrails play a role in testing chemical and biological weapons, damaging crops to manipulate stock prices, and benefiting large pharmaceutical companies that could exploit illnesses caused by these substances for profit. Now, I'm not inclined to agree with all of these claims. I'm not sure, though, how we can say that none of them have any true basis. Do you think any of these claims could be true? Who is behind them? While suspicions initially emerged in the United States, this movement is now international. In a recent global survey, an astounding 17% of respondents believed in the existence of a secret large-scale atmospheric program. In fact, on TikTok, there are many users who have pretty intense videos that show actual flight data from government-owned or leased aircraft that show them flying in very odd patterns, going up and down and in circles for hours over very specific areas.
126 flights, but just look at the concentration. This is on NOAA, okay? And we're just gonna let that marinate for a minute. As you look at all the activity, look at those slots back and forth over the water, over that entire area, just covered up. That's a year's worth of flights.
Why would these planes be doing this? Geoengineering, which involves deliberate interventions in Earth's natural systems, is presented by authorities as a means to combat climate change. However, officials argue that this is still in the research stage. On the contrary, chemtrail believers claim that geoengineering has been practiced for a long time. They point to historical examples like the Soviet Union's Leningrad Institute of Rainmaking in 1932 and China's use of cloud seeding during the 2008 Olympics to prevent heavy rain during the opening ceremony. And no, this is not some made-up rumor. If you don't believe me, Google Beijing Olympics cloud seeding 2008 and see for yourself. It may shock you what they're capable of. Today, it's believed by many that various governments are responsible for releasing these chemicals, and powerful families that are extremely wealthy actually are investing in this field in hopes of exerting control over environmental issues and making money from weather modification. For instance, the Rothschild family, known for their historic banking empire, has been associated with the chemtrail conspiracy. In 2011, a branch of the Rothschild family acquired a controlling stake in Weather Central, which is a company providing weather forecasts to broadcasters worldwide. Some people view this move into the weather industry as an opportunity for that family to profit from natural disasters. Another documented example is Bill Gates investing in solar geoengineering. You can actually look this up too. It's to help combat global warming. Solar geoengineering is where thousands of planes literally fly at high altitudes, spraying millions of tons of particles around the planet to create a massive chemical cloud that would cool the surface. It's said that during this process, they are actually injecting tiny reflective particles into the atmosphere to reduce the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth. Sounds intense, right? The skeptics. In response to these claims, the U.S. Air Force has categorically denied the existence of strategic weather modification systems and has no plans to explore such initiatives, according to them. While some might argue that this is to be expected, international independent scientists also weigh in. A group of 77 scientists and experts in atmospheric science examined the evidence, and 76 of them found that no proof of a secret large-scale atmospheric program exists. They suggested that the data cited as evidence for such a program could be explained by well-understood physics and chemistry associated with aircraft. In other words, these trails are simply the natural result of aviation. Even with these professional opinions, many times the explanation of why some trails last so long and look completely different is said to be unique atmospheric conditions with no other explanation. Some scientists advocate for further research into geoengineering, and they believe that it may be the only defense against global warming. Others believe that there will be safe ways to modify the weather in the near future. It's hard to say who actually knows what they're talking about. Are you in agreement with the scientists who found no proof of a secret program? Why do the trails that airplanes leave look different, and some sit for hours, sometimes with little change in those windy atmospheres? Can you explain it? Do you believe that there is something else at play? Let me know your opinion. And if you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up, share what you think, and join the channel by subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.